What's going on, moviegoers? So if you're new to the channel, my name is Christian. Welcome to Serial Productions. You guys, we got an update, a huge, massive update on Blade. Now, everybody was frustrated with the recent news about the director, Masan Tariq, stepping down as the director of Blade, causing all kinds of terrible drifts, the film getting delayed, them postponing a bunch of films. Everybody wasn't having it. I mean, especially myself. I was just like so disappointed. I was like, Mahershala Ali was casted as Blade years ago. Why haven't you guys fleshed out a script from that time period? It's just no excuses. I mean, and apparently the script that they did have, Mahershala Ali didn't like it. It was lackluster, no action, set in the earlier 1900s. There is no exception. This Blade movie must succeed, you guys. And it's got some massive heavy shoes to fill with the original film with Wesley Snipes. Because to date, that's still one of the best Marvel comic book movies of all time. And Mahershala Ali just wasn't digging it. And he now has the ability to really request new writers. He puts his input on where they should take the story. And I think ultimately it's a good decision. I mean, Mahershala Ali is a well-rounded actor, an Academy Award winner. Why wouldn't you want his 2 cents into the main character he is playing in your universe? But you guys, the new directors, Yann Diamage, I believe I pronounced that right, will be directing the new Blade film along with a new writer. Now, the Hollywood Reporter released this interesting article that I want to read to you guys because boy, oh boy, I like the direction they're headed with this particular paragraph. So let's dive deep into it, you guys. So this is coming from the Hollywood Reporter, like I stated. Marvel Studios' Blade is being unshelved once more, this time with a whole new creative team. Yann Diamage, who directed the pilot of HBO's boundary-pushing horror series Lovecraft Country, has come on board to helm the vampire action thriller that still has Mahershala Ali attached to star. Meanwhile, Michael Starrbury, who earned an Emmy nomination for penning an episode of Ava DuVernay's drama When They See Us, has been hired to pen a brand new script. If you guys haven't seen When They See Us, I highly suggest you check it out. It's very powerful, very emotional. It is such an amazing limited series. I'm telling you guys, it's something you don't want to miss. If you haven't seen it by now, what the fuck? Come on now, get it together. It's that good. The new team puts the project back on track after losing its original director, Masan Tariq, in September. The parting ways due to creative differences and have occurred suddenly as the project was in pre-production, headed towards a November production start date in Atlanta. We all know that didn't happen. Shifted everything in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, including Deadpool 3. Rather than jamming another director, something that clearly needed an overhaul, Marvel pressed pause for a deeper look under the hood. That meant a page 1 rewrite for the project, which had labored in screenwriting phase. Ali was personally involved in selecting the writer according to the sources. Smart move. Why not have Mahershala Ali involved in the whole process of getting this film made, from the directing, from the cast, from, the writing, cinematography. You want Mahershala Ali, trust me. You want him to have more than just, his opinion when it comes to his character. You want him involved with the entirety of the filmmaking of this film. Details are being kept under wraps, but sources say the new intent is for Blade to be darker and grittier in tone, falling on the edgier side of Marvel's fare, and maybe even find common shading with the fondly remembered Blade movies made in the early 2000s by New Line. The plan is go into production in Atlanta in 2023, maintaining Blade's release that is set for September 6, 2024. If everything goes right, I feel like this film could really thrive. Because I don't know if the tone of being darker and grittier, I don't know if that means, okay, maybe let's try to give it an R rating. Will that work for this particular Blade film in the Marvel Cinematic Universe? Who knows? I always go back to this. Guillermo del Toro's Hellboy, the first 2 films, PG-13, still, dark and gritty under the tones, had comedic moments, worked very efficiently because of the talented director Guillermo was. And you go to 2019 Hellboy film, R-rated. Definitely did not work to its benefit, you guys. So maybe an R rating could hurt Blade or it could help Blade. Who knows? But you also have to understand and realize this isn't just a Blade standalone film. It's not. Blade now has the weight of the Marvel Cinematic Universe on its back. So now it has to be connected to everything. Whereas the earlier Blade films didn't have that. It was just Blade. That was it. The Marvel Cinematic Universe didn't exist. And you had the X-Men films, the Spider-Man films, but there was no continuity. There was no connection. So it didn't have the weight and the pressure of now tying everything in. Blade doesn't have to worry about Spider-Man being, down the street. It's very, very different. Now, this could either really hurt Blade or it can help Blade. But I definitely think that you want to usher in this brand new writer and give him really the right set of tools and utensils to really push out a fantastic script for this Blade film. I definitely think that it shouldn't be on the lighter side. It shouldn't be set in the early 1900s. The aesthetic of what those original Blade films had were so effective. The darker tones were so effective. Yeah, there were small little comedic moments, when Wesley Snipes, smirks or he smiles. It worked, but it wasn't overly done. So I don't need to see a jokey Blade in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. That just would not sit well with me. Blade's dealing with vampires. This has, the tones of a horror film. Because essentially, that's what vampires are. Vampires, over the last 30, 40 years, we've had some great R-rated horror vampire films. Bram Stoker's Dracula, Lost Boys. I mean, you name it. There's been some wonderful vampire films. So I definitely think that, they need to scale back on the continuity of the Marvel Cinematic Universe when it evolves around Blade. Because like I said, it doesn't need the weight of the universe on its shoulders just yet. It really doesn't. And I don't want to see Blade, banner in a whole new character where he's going to have to, train. I heard that was part of the original script of, he's going to be training his daughter or something along the lines of that, or a young, Daywalker. I was like, that's stupid to me. Don't do that. Let Blade just have Blade in his own movie. You know what I mean? Phase 4 has definitely been in the realm of, this is the newer version of me. I've got to train them, get them ready. Hawkeye with Kate Bishop. Hulk with Scar and She-Hulk. You know what I mean? Thor with his daughter. It's just, it's unnecessary. Even in Wakanda Forever, having young T'Challa at the end of the film. They're ushering in a younger generation of the Marvel heroes. I don't want that with Blade. It's not necessary. Just give me a solid, grounded Blade film where he has to kill a bunch of vampires. That's all I need. And maybe you can introduce Dracula. I know Homelander, the guy who's playing with that, he was rumored to be for the role of Dracula in this particular universe. I'm fine with that. That's dope. But don't give me too much cinematic universe. Like, do you guys get where I'm coming from? I don't think it's necessary just yet. Yeah, you can incorporate the Midnight Suns whenever you want to do the sequel or whatever, blah, blah, blah. But for Blade, let's just strictly do like an origin story type Blade film like the original film had. They showed flashbacks of him and his mother when he was being born and his mom being bit, and that's how he became the Daywalker. Small stuff like that is cool, but I don't need it to be overly cinematic, connective to whatever the MCU has done through the first 4 phases. It's not necessary to me. It's not, you guys. But this is exciting. I'm happy that they found a new director. I'm happy that they found a new writer. I'm really hoping that they can really all come to good terms, find out a good script, get into the right direction of where they want to take this story and, start shooting. Because if this doesn't turn out good and Mahershala Ali's not happy with the script and, the script is still lackluster with a little bit of action sequences, I think you can it, and that's it. You don't have Blade. That's a wrap, you guys. Boop, it's done. But post your comments down below. Let me know what you guys think about Blade finding its new director and writer. Do you think they should stick to the darker, greater undertones? Or do you want, them to go down the comedic route with, some of these Marvel Cinematic Universe films and shows are going in? Post your comments down below. Let me know what you guys think. Peace.